All right, hey, it's Ronin, man. Beautiful sunset here at the park here. Just watching the sunset. People are walking around, and a nice day to do a Ronin Man episode. So, walking here, yeah, beautiful. We might hear the King's music here in a little bit. They tend to play the King's music, and then we have to stop and can't talk, can't move for a few minutes, but or probably 30 seconds or something. But today's topic is how to fuck on the first date. Get girls to fuck on the first date. And it's a topic a lot of guys, they want to, like, I think if you don't know what's inside the package, like inside for example, you want to take the car for a test spin, right, before you buy it. And, same thing with people, right? If you don't get along with them, you don't match with them, it's not good to spend a lot of investing in them, right? Until you're sure that you really like them and they really like you, right? So I think, fucking on the first date is a very important thing because it saves you time. It allows you to invest in the people that you really care about, the people that you really like, right? Instead of investing a lot of time and money into somebody that you don't really agree with, or, they don't like you or whatever, So it's not just about the sex. It's more like you want to find out a couple things. You want to find out if you're compatible with them, if you guys hit it off. Is there sparks when you guys have it? Do it, So there's a lot of good reasons to want to fuck on the first date. There's some beautiful light here. I'm just trying to cruise around and show you guys a little bit what it looks like down here. I don't know what kind of fruits these are, but some kind of fruits hanging there. It's funny because they weren't here last time I looked. Last time I walked here, they weren't there. Right. So I think, for me, in some ways, I would say that I'm not really, when it comes to dates, I'm not like a romantic kind of dater, like way. Like what I'll tend to do is say something like, if I meet somebody, like let's say like I was buying a mattress, right? And so I couldn't decide what I wanted. So this girl started to give me advice in the department store. So I said, oh, thank you, thank you. So then I said, let's go see what it looks like in my house, So I bought the mattress and we took it home and then fucked her on the mattress, right? So yeah, so it kind of made sense. And actually I did it exactly what I read in a magazine. There was a magazine that said, I was new in Japan, and it said, if you meet a girl, just buy something, then, tell her you want to see what it looks like at home, and then just go home. And then, so I did it with a mattress. It was great, right? So, because I had a good logical reason, right? I wanted to make sure the colors matched and all that kind of stuff, right? So what I tend to do if I meet somebody on the street is I tend to take them into my life. So for example, I will beautiful sunset. I will take them, like, for example, to the bank with me, to go pay bills, to go to the post office, whatever I was going to do that day, I'll take them with me. So it's like they're on this adventure with me, right? Let's go this way. I'll take them on an adventure with me. So whatever I'm doing, I give them a kind of a insight into my life, right? So, when you sit there, I think there's like double, triple benefits to this one. So for example, if you have somebody you just met, what most guys do is they take her on like a date, right? The problem with dates is when a girl's on a date, her defenses are up, right? So I never want the girl's defenses to be up. I always want her defenses to be down. And so girls' defenses are down in different situations, right? If it's not an exactly date situation. So for example, I usually fuck girls in the morning. Is one thing, because their defenses are down in the morning. And also on the first date, I'll take them shopping or, whatever I was going to do, pay some bills. Like I said, some really boring stuff like wait in line at the bank, pay the DMV, whatever it is. And then I will just have, a good conversation with her. And what usually happens is they have a great time because they've never met anybody on the street and then ended up spending the day with them, just kind of doing normal things, just like you know what I mean? Like they're already part of your life, right? And I think that right there, it makes a girl feel that she's already kind of important. She's already part of my life, right? It's the same logic as when I go to the IKEA with a girl if I haven't slept with her yet, and I'll take her in there and we'll sit on the couches together and we'll pretend like we're married, kind of thing. And the girl gets all these crazy thoughts in her mind, and then she wants to go home and bone right away, right? because now you're like a couple. Like you're like picking out things, even though you're just walking through fucking IKEA, right? IKEA is a great place to take a girl on a first date. But think of things like this for your life. I try to make it so that I don't have to go out of my way for anything. I just want to do whatever I'm going to do, and the girls come along. So I got my party, I got my life, and if they want to come, they can join in, right? But the way they join in is by just coming and doing whatever I'm doing. It's not like, hey, where are we going? It's like, I don't know. I got to do some stuff. Let's go. And they usually come along, and then they start realizing like, oh, this is kind of pleasant to spend time with this guy. Like, just kind of cruising around is kind of pleasant, Like we're laughing and we're like having a good time. And I think during the day, it's almost like a foregone conclusion we're going to have sex when we get home, right? Because it's like, by now, you know them so well. You've laughed about so many things. You talked about so many different topics. And everything was kind of like normal. It wasn't like, what color frickin', it wasn't like a fake conversation that you have in a date, right? I can't stand dates, okay? I just don't do dates. The other thing I don't do, and I think this is really important, I never spend any money on them when I go, especially the first date, or whatever you call it, the time with them. So for example, I might take them to McDonald's for coffee. I might take them to the food court in somewhere, for like a $5 meal or something, right? Because that's maybe what I was going to eat anyway, so I'll take them with me. So I think if you do that, if you just be completely yourself and normal and take them along with you, it's almost like a slam dunk. I mean, I can't even see. Just think in your mind. Just think it through yourself. Like you meet somebody and you spend the whole day with them, laughing. It's like your boyfriend, girlfriend all day, and then the next thing you know, you're going home. It's very natural. It would be almost weird not to have sex. You know what I mean? You've got so much invested now. You spend so much time together. It's like, of course, right? They're going to do it, right? They're going to make you feel good. They want to, right? So I think that's what I do. Is I try not to have a date. I never have dates. If someone says, you want to go on a date, or did you take her on a date? I'm always kind of like difficult to answer the question, because I don't go on dates. I don't take girls on dates, and I just don't do dating. I'll take girls wherever I'm going. So maybe I'll take them camping, or I'll take them walking around. Like I like to walk like I am right now. I love to do this, just walk, especially sunset. But basically anytime I like to walk. So that's what I tend to do, is I'll take girls walking, right? And I've found that if you take a girl walking, if you're in a scenario like you take a girl and she says, hey, do you want to go somewhere, something like that, and then you say, okay, well, let's meet here. I like walking. Where are your running shoes, right? And then she'll say, oh, it's like kind of fun, because you're kind of telling her what to do, right? You're like, oh, we're going to do this, and then the girls are like, oh, okay, and then they'll go out and buy some new running shoes or something, right? And then you meet them, and then they're all excited about, okay, we're gonna walk, it's like this big thing, and then you start walking with her, and then next thing you know, she's kind of sweaty, and you've spent a long time together, and you've enjoyed seeing new things, and it's like this is the first time she's ever been on a walking date. It's like no one does this for some reason. Every guy is like such a pussy hole. They'll take her on these expensive dinners or expensive coffees, and then of course she doesn't really respect him, right? Everybody knows what he wants, right? It's like Chris Rock said, it's like, do you want some D, right? That's what guys are always asking. Every girl knows that. So when you take her out to these fancy things or spend money on her, act, like a pussy, it doesn't impress the girls at all, right? I'm just doing my thing. I'm like a diesel truck. I'm doing my thing. I'm making my rounds. She wants to get on board. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time in the mundane. It might end up being fun. We might end up running into something quite interesting. For just coincidentally could happen, but it's definitely not. No, we're going walking is the main plan, right? And also, when you get the blood moving, it also, I think, is easier to get people to have sex, because the blood flow, health, it's all connected. Like when you're laying around, like in bed, like not moving, you don't feel good. You don't feel healthy. It doesn't make you want to, you know what I mean? It doesn't make a girl want to have sex, right? It's when she's out doing things and she feels, excited, and she's looking at new things, talking about new things, his blood's flowing, then it tends to work out better. I used to do basketball first dates. So I'd say, I was into basketball for a while. So I'd say, hey, let's go play basketball. And then she'd be like, they'd go and get some basketball shorts or something, right? And then we play basketball. I'd play pretty hard too. I would I'd fully drive on them, and then make them defend me, Yeah. Like I would shoot over them and stuff, and I'd fully go for it. And that was always kind of fun for me. And I found that I think also that they kind of they like that I respect them in a sense because I'm playing hard, like I'm playing like I got a sister, right? So, like if you treat her too soft, she's not gonna, like, it's a kind of lame, It's like, you give her respect by treating her as like one of the guys, kind of, Yeah. So that's kind of what I do, So I'm playing basketball. So that was when I used to do the basketball dates. So you got the walking dates, you got the basketball dates, you got the, hey, I got to go pay some bills. Let's go. I got to go do some things. Want to come along, And this is kind of like when you first meet somebody and you just start dragging them along with you. And it sounds weird, but if you ever try it, it actually is it's the most normal thing you can ever imagine. Like, meeting somebody and walking around with them, it's not weird. It's not weird, and the girls won't think it's weird. The only person that's going to think it's weird is probably you, because you're afraid that you think that she's not going to like you because you're not doing anything special, right? So I think you really got to break all the mold on that, and just you see girls and just start like cruising around with them, and then generally on those kind of dates, you don't go home, right? Because it's too formal. So you might like do it in a park or something, right? Or you might do it in a stairwell or on top of a building or something. Yeah, that's kind of a good thing to do. Hey, hey, congratulations. Yeah, okay, ciao. All right, so graduate from school there. Yeah, so I think that's what I try to do. I try to do normal things and be normal with people, and it like makes people feel good, because people don't really want to be on a pedestal. Girls don't want to be on a pedestal. They just want to have fun. They just want to do normal things and have fun. That's really what girls like to do, like cooking something together. That's awesome. Making pancakes, that was what I used to always do to close the deal. I ate so many pancakes, I still can't even eat pancakes because I made pancakes all the time on first dates, And I just ate too many pancakes. Because you can take a pancake, you can do a lot of things with it, right? You can make it like a shape of a heart. You can do a lot of cool things with the pancakes, right? You can make it the shape of Mickey Mouse, You can do a lot of different things with a pancake, right? Screwing around with pancakes. It's pretty fun, So I've done all those things. And yeah, Ronin Man pancake date, that's like the best one. So like I'll meet somebody and I'll say, get their number or whatever, and then say, hey, do you like coffee or whatever, and then have them come over for a cup of coffee, and then we'll make pancakes together. And then while they're like standing there at the pancake thing, the pan, I'll come up behind them and start kissing them on the neck, and it's 100% close, because they're already like doing something fun with you. Like they're sitting there, they're maybe they got a little apron on or something, and they're looking at they're cooking, and they're having fun, and they're messing around with the dough and stuff, and you're laughing and everything, and it's all just very, very fun. I think this is kind of like what girls like to do. They like to have situations like that, like very normal, And I used to get pancake mix by the billions. I would buy huge boxes of pancake mix, like, because they have individual pancake boxes, right? But I would buy a whole carton of it at Costco, like a bazillion of them, right? And then each time I had like a first date, I would always make pancakes, and then it was always kind of perfect, right? Because no matter what type of girl it was, they always enjoy doing something together and making something, but you don't want to do, Betty Crocker, there's a company called Betty Crocker, and if you're not from the States, and it's they have like cooking contests and everything, and it was a really famous company in the 50s and 60s for cooking. But the reason why Betty Crocker got so famous and was so successful because they realized that women wanted to do it yourself more in the 60s, but at the same time it couldn't be too hard. So they discovered that the magic formula was just to have an added egg, because they didn't want to feel like they were cheating. This is the marketing department. So they said if you add milk to it, and if you add egg to it, and then if you cook it, the women felt like they had cooked. That was cooking. That was enough, right? That was cooking. And that gave the women would, and so it was like Betty Crocker was a huge success because before that, it was all handmade stuff or it was store-bought. And this is kind of this new hybrid mix thing where you have a very easy thing that anybody can cook. So some lady from Transylvania who just moved to the States and, you know, she's never made a pancake in her life. She can add an egg, she can add some milk, she can make a pancake, right? So that was kind of like the magic formula. And I think girls today, even today, like especially Asian girls who've never made certain dishes, if you find the right simple thing to do, it's quite pleasant for them. You know, like a lot of girls here, actually, a lot of these girls you're seeing in the video, they've never made bread. Not once in their life. They've never cooked a loaf of bread. And they really want to. There's one thing about girls, they love cooking. They love baking goods in Asia. So like nobody has a kitchen. Nobody has an oven here. Nobody has a freaking oven. They all have the wok. You know, so they stir fry everything. So when you make bread together, you make a cake together, you make a pancake together. This is stuff that's like super memorable for them. You know, I don't know if it would be exactly the same in Germany, but definitely in Asia, if you got an Asian girl, it's an awesome idea. Because it's just the magic formula, right? Because it's like you're trying new food, you're doing it together. It's kind of fun, but it's not too hard, you know. And you can play around with it, right? You can make it kind of creative, right? So I would say those are kind of my things. I think my friend asked me, he said, you know, how about how to fuck on the first date? And I just didn't even like the word date, you know. So these are the things I do. You can call them dates if you want, but they're not usually known as dates, you know. It's more like just spending time with her and doing something together. You know, if it's walking, if it's cooking, if it's paying bills. And I mean, of course, you know, if you're not an interesting person to talk to and she's going to be bored out of her mind and she's not going to have a good time, then it won't work out anyway. You know, you got to improve yourself, you know. You got to be fun to talk to, right? Where they enjoy talking to you, right? When the girls come with me, they have a great time. They're like laughing and everything all day. So then it's like, of course you're going to fucking, you know, there's a lot of goodwill built up in the day, right? And then they also see how you think, right? Because sometimes I won't pay a bill. Like if I don't agree with it, I'll say, this is totally lame. This service was terrible. I'm not going to pay for this, you know? And then the girls are like, oh, he has boundaries, you know? He has boundaries. He won. They agreed that they made a mistake or that it wasn't any good and that they weren't going to make him pay that bill, you know? So I think all these things is like an insight. And this is what girls really want. That's why they go on a date with you anyway, is they want to find out who the hell you are if they want to spend time with you. I don't think that girls expect you to be like the most entertaining guy, like she's in a Hollywood movie 24 hours a day. No, they're just looking for somebody that is pretty cool, they have a good time with, they laugh and feel sensual and all those things, right? So, you know, a lot of girls, they're not asking that much, you know. You just have to just be there and do it. It's fine. You're good enough, you know. You're good enough. You know, your conversation is good enough. And I would say, you know, but you know, also what my friend here said is like you always have to have the plan to pull back home or pull where you can do it. So what I like to do it outside a lot, and I don't worry about getting arrested so much. So I'll do it in the car. We'll do it in parks. We'll do it in a stairwell. We'll do it in a handicapped bathroom. I would say if you're gonna pull on the first date, it's better to do it outside the bed, because there's something about having sex on the bed that makes a girl feel like a slut, you know, and especially at night. If you can do it in the morning, let's say like in a like a nice department store's handicapped bathroom in the morning, it's like it's quite funny and exciting, and she doesn't feel slutty. She feels slutty when you're trying to pull her home and it's 10 o'clock and you're like, baby, don't go home. It's basically the scenario she's seen a million times, right? That's when people feel slutty. See, they feel slutty because of a tradition of that being a slutty behavior for them, right? But if you change it up so they can't label themselves that way, right? Is that you don't give them the chance to label themselves with that bad label, because I don't label them in that bad label. You know, I think it's great that they like me and everything. We do whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not. Yeah, no. I mean, I say the words like, you know, sluts and all that, but I mean that in a good way. You know, I mean, like, you know, like a healthy girl is quite going to be, you know, turned on and that kind of thing. That's what I mean. I don't mean like, hey, you look down on them. No, I mean, when you're doing it, you might have some kind of fun game. You know, you might even like chain them up, or they might, you know, there's all kinds of things you could do, right? It's not like, but I mean, at the same time, it's not serious. It's just fun, right? It's just like, this is what you're doing for fun, right? It's a game. It's a role play, right? It's a role play, and being playful is something the girls love. So they want you to be playful, right? They want to be playful too. Being too serious is not ever any girl's dance card, I'm going to find a real serious guy, He's going to be so serious, So serious. And I try not to spend money on. That's another rule I have. And I'm almost psychotic about this one. Like, I'll date girls I usually date multiple girls, but I date girls for like 10 years. And the most I'll ever give them is $10 presents on their birthday. Like Hello Kitty chocolates or something, right? And that's my hardcore rule. And I've always followed that. And it's funny because some girls will give me like international trips and buy me a motorcycle and stuff, but I just stick to that rule, and it keeps my mind simple, If they give me stuff or they don't, I don't care. It's like, why should I have to, I mean, if she needed like a lung transplant or something, or liver transplant, I might pay for that, you know what I mean? I got my flexibility there, She needs something if I cared about her, but the idea that I have to do something to fit in society, fuck that. Any girl who thinks that, fuck her. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. There's so many girls who, you date them for so long, and then you look back and you think, what did I ever give her? Like, I gave her all my time and love, and but like presence-wise, nothing, right? Yeah. It was just like, it was a very simple relationship, right?
And like really pure.
Yeah. Okay, here comes down the King's music, so it's a good time to cut it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you got some ideas. So it's not about date, it's about how to get to orgasm on the first time you meet him. That's my goal. I like to do that, if I can. All right, Ronin Man signing off. Thanks for the comments, and please subscribe to the channel. Hit that red button. Share it around with your friends.
The link.
Oh, and hit the link below for the, what is that for?
To get to check out
the manifesto. Get the manifesto. All right, thanks guys. See you later.